All right, let's get ready to rip. When you go to a tracker facility, it's not about the money in the track. It's about the people. Guys, I don't give a shit about anything but making this hobby better. You don't have to put them into a late model right out of the hit. Put them in a slash. Let them bang around on the bathtubs. Guys, we had a great show. We'll talk about it later. I'm not going to get into it right now. It is what it is. Currently, Brad raced this weekend. He had a little club race. Good deal for him. I'm glad he had it. We all scheduled. How do I say this? We all scheduled this weekend, and Elite had a race. So whether it's good or bad, I don't know how you want to say it. Elite got rained out in Iowa. I don't think they could have made it. I watched the weather out there too. I don't think there's any way they could have got that show in and had a reasonable turnout. Guys driving 5-6 hours to get there, turn around and have a rain out. So I think their numbers would have been way down. I think it's a great thing they did that. Will be next weekend or whenever you guys watch this, probably this weekend. Okay, so they will be there. What is it today? It's gonna be like the 19th, I think, 18th, 19th, I think is when they're doing that. In Layton, Iowa for the Elite Series. They moved it a week. Brad raced last weekend. Had 23 drivers, 39 entries. Crater raced also. They had a points race, I believe, 38 and 71. Oval Office, he's getting cranked back up down there in Morrow, 24-49. So that's a good little number. The big one of the weekend, honestly, guys, is attitude. Aaron put on another great show. Jason was in the comments earlier, said he just got home from there. I was supposed to go there. I wanted to go there, and I just couldn't make it. Me and the wife got up. I don't know. We were up moving around about 8:30, 9 o'clock after going to bed at 4, and I couldn't get it done. So I didn't go up. We will make a trip up to Attitude before the season's over for one of Aaron's races. Aaron runs a really, really good show and a really tight show. 3 minutes. What he did this week was 3 minutes, and I think he did 30 in the heat or in the mains. Great show in my opinion, and he's fast. 4 or 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes maybe per heat, and 15, 20 minutes in between the heats and the mains, and we're ripping. So congratulations to Aaron on that number, 80 and 173, that Memorial race. So check that out, guys. Those guys know they're always welcome down here. Just come on down and let's get it done one way or another. Okay. Another one. We had a really good race, guys. I'm very proud to say that we hit the number that I've been looking for a long time. That number being 100 racers or 100 entries. We hit that number this week. I've never hit 100. My most was 60 something, 66, 68, something like that. We hit 100, and I got to say, the 100 mark for me. I went over and talked to some guys. Some of my camping crew guys were hanging out. We were all talking about it, and we were looking at the number as this race began or got ready to get close. And as we did, I said, well, what do we got to do? You know, these guys are, we're at like 98 or 97. And I said, man, guys, that's 30 more than I've ever done. It doesn't matter to me. If we don't get the 100, we don't. And we were standing there talking to some guys, and they're like, man, you got to hit the number. 100 is a bragging right. Well, it isn't. It is to me, but believe me, it means a shit ton more than I can ever express. The 100 mark is hit, guys. Now we grow from there. So we ended up with, did I get my number up? Because I didn't look it up. 45 drivers, 103 cars. So that's a huge number for me, guys. I'm so glad. I'm so happy that everybody enjoyed the day and we didn't have a lot of problems. What's up, Brian? It was a fun night, Dave. Thanks for you guys from up there at LHHR coming down and supporting the track down here too. We'll talk about that more here in a little bit amongst tracks. But 100%, man, it was a good night. We had a little transponder issues, and we fixed those somehow, some way, and it got better. And now here we go. We're ripping. I mentioned Leighton has moved. Leighton has moved their race weekend. Make sure you guys check that out if you want to go get an elite race in. So thanks, Brian. He says, congratulations, Tony, on the car count. That's awesome. It is awesome, man. You were here in the beginning. Brian Munsterman, Scuba, Steve Thacker, he's on here. Butch, that was the 3. 4.5 years ago, probably, came out and hung out with me one Sunday and said, this thing's a dust bowl. Try doing this, try doing that. Make sure you get more water in it. You're going to water it all day in the heat. And those guys helped me from the beginning, and they're still here. So I don't know if that means anything 4 years later or not, but they're here. So it does to me, believe me. It does to me that I can contact a guy like, he said that little garden's getting some traction, 100%. He got a lot of traction this weekend, man. It was on point. I can ask any one of those 3 guys for anything about the track, or help me with the track, or input on the track, or thoughts about the track. Those 3 guys that were out here originally are still there to help me if I need it. I have a shit ton more on top of it now, but the reality of it is, guys, it all starts somewhere, and that's where it started. Whether like it or not, like guys, don't like guys, have attitudes about guys, everybody does. It doesn't matter. You have to start somewhere, and they're the guys that helped me get started. Here's what I'm going to do. My topic tonight, and then you guys get to fire it up and let's rip. And I want something good out of you guys because it's been a long week for me. And I've had this idea to talk about for a couple of days, and I wanted to be a little more positive. I feel like I've kind of beat you guys up on this live for the last couple of weeks, which I'm fine with. Brian says, still think you ought to put a couple tomato punch on it. Brian, the garden that it should have been, there's no chance anymore. Scuba says, you know me, any day, anytime, I'm there to help. 100% Scuba. Scuba was out here with Saturday morning-ish, we'll say noonish. I walk out of the shop, I'm doing something in here, and I walk out, and Scuba's standing there, or walking up. He's like, hey, I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were here yet. He comes walking up, and we look at the track, and it's filthy, and I'm getting ready to sweep, and I've been sweeping, I come in to take a break, and we literally swept the whole track, probably 8 to 10 5-gallon buckets of silt off the track, swept it down. Scuba got introduced to the new track employee, and he worked well with him. So this week I hired a new track employee. His name is Ron Jeremy the Broom, and he works good. He got a little trim here and there. So the new broom is Ron Jeremy. So kind of goes along with Patches. If anybody knows that inside deal, Patches is Patches. Guys, this new topic I had, Steve is a great guy. Iceman. He'll help anybody in moderation sometimes. Guys, my point was this. I wanted to go out and look at tracks in the area. I got a hold of Aaron. He has a track locator map that they were doing up north there. I got a friend of his. He ended up giving me a copy of it. It's a map you can click on locations. It's not 100% accurate. Some are closed. Some I don't know about. Some other stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe they're off-road, maybe they're on-road, maybe they're carpet, but it's a pretty good map. And you look at it, there's a whole lot of tracks here in the Midwest. A whole lot. I'm not on that, which is fine. I'm not on that. Of course, the new high road track is not on that. Moni is on that, which we all know Moni is no longer. So it's not up to date. And Aaron had told me that his buddy had turned it over to another guy and really hadn't seen a lot out of it lately. So maybe that's why. It's still great information. So I start looking at tracks and tracks I follow on Facebook, tracks I follow around, tracks I've been to. And I thought, man, if I were to leave Kempton, what am I looking at? So I looked up, I don't know, 25 tracks or something like that in this area. It comes up to there within an hour and a half of me, there's 8 tracks I can go to, not counting mine. So mine would be the 9th track. So if you didn't own a track and you lived in this area, we'll say Kankakee area, you're half an hour to difference of me, but you're an hour and a half away from 8 different tracks, maybe 9. 3 hours away from 15 tracks. So my point to that is this: if you want to travel to race, you can. We had a lot of people this weekend that I would normally see at another track that were here. And I'm 100% grateful for that. I also seen a lot of my guys. I missed a lot of my guys. And I wish they would have been here to get the 100 with me. I mean, the guys that have been with me forever, the guys that have helped me so much, I wish they were here too, but they weren't. You can't control that. You can't control where guys race every weekend, but as a track owner, but you just try to do your best whenever they're there. That's why we race this weekend. That's why we race one Saturday a month. I want my guys, and I say my guys wholeheartedly, my Kempton crew, I want you guys to be able to race. That's why we did the setup we did. I feel like if you go to one track and you are the best at that track, guess what? You're the best at that track. Hurrah. But if you have to go to another track, you might not be the best. It's different. Okay? I feel like a lot of guys last night that haven't raced here, we had 24 mod cars in 2 classes. Those 24 mod cars, I talked to quite a few of them during and after, and they're like, this is different because we have to completely lift to get through the corner here. A lot of tracks are not that way. I said, that's cool. What do you think? It's great because it's different. I said that in the beginning. If mod cars come here, you're going to have to lift going through the corner because you can't, it's not round enough. You have straightaways. But guys didn't complain. They were like, that's cool, something different. So my point to that is this. If you only race one track, if you only race County Line in Missouri, that's the only place you ever race, you are the best there. Guess what? That pool's real small. I'm glad you're the big fish. Now let's get in the big pool. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to 5 other tracks. Let's go to 8 other tracks. Right? Indiana, Michigan, the Crater, a lot of the Indiana guys, a lot of other places I've seen are doing more of a series now where you go to other tracks because you have them close enough you can. Guys, go to Kansas, go to Oklahoma even, go to, now what if we were way out west? Let's say Colorado. How many tracks are out there that are outdoor dirt oval racing? You got to drive 5 hours to get to the first track, the first one. So don't sell it short that we have a lot of tracks. There's enough, in all honesty, I feel like there's enough guys to go around to race club races. But if track owners book every weekend, race every weekend, you know what's going to happen? You're going to go out and you're going to race on a weekend and you're going to get 2 cars, 2 drivers, 4 cars. It happened last week on a midweek show. It happens to us on Friday night, which is fine. But the reality of it is if you think you're going to get a great show every weekend and you're open every weekend, you're probably not. And the reality of it is you shouldn't. If guys want different tracks to race at, we have to be able to go around, share around, get more guys into the hobby. We had a shit ton of people out here watching. Kempton Day was this weekend. Honestly, I've heard that people were upset because we raced, because there's more people here than there was at the Kempton Day celebration. I can't help that. We had a show, and we had guys that wanted to race, so we raced. That is the beauty of having my track where it is, because my track is right downtown. Whether Kempton's only 200 people downtown, it's still downtown. Brian Rush said, you're really fortunate with the amount of, we are really fortunate with the amount of tracks that we have around us. compared to the rest of the United States. Just wish we had some more off-road tracks. Brian, I understand that and agree. Here's the problem. Maintenance, man. Maintenance kills an off-road track. It's hard. My opinion. But I agree. I'd love to. Man, I want to go to a big off-road race. So maybe wintertime I'll find somewhere that's running in the southern half of the United States outdoors or something. I don't know. Jack says, yes, 100%. It was fun hitting other tracks. It is fun. Beanball says, what time did you guys finish up last night? 1:30 was the last race finish. Brian says, well, isn't Kempton Day supposed to be about the town? The track is part of the town. It is. And that's why I put a race on that day, Brian. The Kempton Day celebration, if it had more food trucks, in all honesty, if it had a little bit more, he would have been more. The guys from here would have went down there. We opened the track at 2. Guys were here at noon, 1 o'clock, and they would have went down there. They got their shit together and went down there. The first year we did Kempton Days, guys, it was big. A lot of people, we did. Guys spent the whole days here. My Kempton crew guys, a lot of them stayed here all day. Car showed, hung out, done their thing, and then everybody was hanging out and then went down there. But this year it's become small, a little smaller, so that's hurt it a little bit. Jeff Johnson asked me any idea of spectator count. I do not, but I don't know. I honestly don't. Tommy said had a guy pull onto up on a golf cart in my pit. He said he was wondering why no one was at the fest. They're all here. 100%. We had it to offer. Everybody was here, had what we wanted. Everybody that was here wanted to watch RC racing or go RC racing. We had that, and it turned out amazing. And thank every one of you racers and family members for letting the racers race, and guys driving from Indiana and Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan. I mean, we had guys from all over, and that's cool as shit to me. Nick Henderson says, I truly feel the Midwest is the richest dirt oval area around. It has the best competition, the greatest selection of tracks. 100%, Nick. I agree with you. I can honestly say, and I'm looking into the mod world because I'm kind of getting into it more. I'm not saying that's the only thing. I love 13.5s. I love the crate. I love Slash Street Stock. But on a nationwide scale, because they're all the same mod, I think we have probably the top 3 to 5 guys in the country, in my opinion, as far as mod guys in this area. And we've all watched them. Guys, we run mod last, and I don't really know why, but we always do. Maybe the track gets supposedly the best then. Everybody runs mod last. Maybe because they're going to tear their shit up probably, but I don't know. But the mod guys in this area it's big, and there's a lot of them. You know, a lot of mod guys out here. A lot of mod guys that are really good in this area. We've all stayed late and watched them. Whether you're picking your stuff up and they're getting ready to run their last 50, it is what it is. So everybody's seen you guys grow up, and I'm saying you guys because I'm talking kind of to Nick also. Nick's a hell of a driver, guys. Don't get me wrong. He can get down with the best of them. So Scuba, we're going to call him Scuba. Anybody don't know Steve Thacker, that's Scuba when I refer. He is a member of the Kempton crew, OG. The mod guys put on a good show last night. 100% they did. 100%. We had some computer errors on my part, because I didn't realize the late models would be able to get around as fast as they did, and we had some timing issues. Let's talk about that real quick. Guys, I don't really like to get into track specific real heavy whenever I'm recording on the RC Underground side of it, and not because Dave doesn't want me to, but it's just kind of specific for my track. But this goes to everybody. Here's what happened. I'll give you the scenario and you guys see if it was handled correctly. It is the feature. We are running 50 laps, mod, late model. In the heat, I seen that the mod guys were getting under the number with the minimum. And my error because it shouldn't have been that high. I had to set it a 5 second lap. Yeah, you like it? Dave's on here. Uh, I'm sorry. Did I offend someone? Did I offend you? Uh, yes. Um, so I see they were under the 5 second mark. I go into the computer to change it. Once you start an event, it won't let you. Now, if somebody can tell me that's done this more than I have, and there's a lot of people that have, if you can tell me how to make that right and do that in mid-show, I'd be glad to hear it. I don't know how to do it. It's changed now, and I will verify it before I start the next event. But it wouldn't let me change the minimum. The My Guys put on the reply to the My Guys put on a good show. Matt said that shows how far respect goes in the hobby. Everyone raced each other clean. 100% Matt Rikers. And here's another thing that shows respect in the hobby. And we're talking about it right now. And you know what it's going to be because you were involved. So as I see this number, as it clicks, I can't click enough times to add laps for them. So it looks like JoJo Lewis and Jamari Lewis and Justin were the ones. Yeah, I'll get a hold of Tyler, Brian. It's fixed now, but if he has any ideas, have him listen, and if he knows, have him get a hold of me. Uh, so what happened was I couldn't click fast enough to add laps, and I've never had this problem. So here I am, 100 guys here, 103 guys here, and I am falling apart internally. And Drake says, I don't remember exactly how to, but if you play in the menu settings before clicking finish the race, if you hit finish the race, it's too late though. Ran live RC try. Okay, cool, Drake. I'll look around. Thank you so much for that. Guys, I'm telling you, we'll get back to that in just a second. Just like that, Drake tells me something, or anybody, I don't give a shit who it is. If you tell me how to do something or tell me you think there's a way, I'll dig deeper. I'll call the company. I don't give a shit. I am not inferior. I'm not the guy that says, huh, if I can't figure it out, nobody can. I'm dumb. I'm just trying to run a race and have a great time. So you guys input like that, I understand that. That's great, and I will work towards that to be better. Yeah, I didn't, but it was still wouldn't let me add laps, but I didn't jump in the menu. So, but anyway, so we get done with the race. I can't click fast enough. I can't figure it out. I got on the mic and I said, "Hey, all you five that were up there, 5 or 6 that were up there," I said, "You guys come here." So I'll come over there and let me call you out real quick. It's Matt, JoJo, Jamari, Ryan, Justin. I'm missing one. Who was the other one? Somebody comment knows. I don't remember the third one or the sixth one. We had 6 late models. Who was it? Anyway, so we're out there, and I said, "Guys, come here." And I said, "Here's what happened." I was straightforward, honest with them. Kevin. Yeah, Kevin. No, JB. JB, you're right. Kevin was not in that one. Yeah, JB. So I come to him. I said, "Hey guys, here's what's up." Sorry, JB, I didn't mean to leave you hanging. If you're on here, I said, "What happened? Here's what happened. Here it is." And he goes, they're all like, "Well, here's here's what here's what we think." And I said, "Okay, I can't tell you because I'm trying to when the screen lit red, I tried to put a lap in because I didn't know any different." So I think it ended up being JoJo, Jamari, and then that sketchy Ryan guy, as Brian Munster just put in the comments, uh, ended up a third. And I think Ryan was questioning everybody else's decision that he was actually third, but that's what everybody agreed on. Uh, and Matt was involved. Like I say, Matt and JB. I think JB was broke. That's why I don't remember him. JB broke and couldn't finish, so he was on the stand getting ready to do mod sprint. Mod sprints I had low enough. I had them at a 4 second. If they went in the threes, we were in trouble again. Threes here, you're scooting. So we got that done, and it was good. So it ended up being JoJo, Jamari, and Ryan in that order. Ryan TQ, which might have been questionable also, but it rolled like that. So, and everybody was cool with it. We all was cool. That shows respect among those guys. And there was a comment made during it. I'm not going to repeat it, but I understand exactly, and it came from Ryan, and I exactly understand exactly why he said it. And if you know brand loyalty, you would understand what he said too. And Ryan, I commend you for all of that. Okay, that was good. So don't be a bitch. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that's like, oh, but I was this, I was that, I was. It's toy cars. If the dude's blowing your doors off, you know it, right? You know it. Well, the time doesn't say it. Time says this. Honest mistake, guys. I owned up to it. I look like the dumbass. Be honest with me. That's all I can ask for as a track owner, any track owner. Honesty. Okay. So that was great. That is respect amongst drivers. That is respect amongst people. That is 100% respect. Like I said, Paisley says, "Who is this Ryan fella?" You don't want to know him. Munchman says he's sketchy. So, like I say, the guy that spearheaded a lot of it, I think. Thank you for doing that deal. Matt says, I didn't even realize the scoring went, the scoring. You guys are blowing me up here. Hang on, let me back it up. Didn't even realize the scoring had me first, and I want my damn trophy. I agree, Matt. Ryan says, we all know most of the time where we are. Not always, because usually I lose count of how many times the kids lap me. Who let Mike Sanders in here? That's friendship, Andrew Baker says. You're right. That's very true, man. How do I put this? The Kempton crew that we have here, the Kempton crew and the crew of mod guys that came to our race, the 24 cars, are damn near the same, in my opinion. Good group of guys. They chat out of the track. They're talking to each other to get better. They're figuring things out. You can see it. And whenever they all come into a race, they all hang out together. They all talk. There's inside bullshit nobody knows about or needs to know about. No different than the Kempton crew. No different. So that's how that works. I'm going to call one more out, and this is not going to be a good side. We had, why am I worried about it now? We had a guy race last night illegally. 100% blatant illegal race. And the best part about it is this man came to me after the race, handed me his car, and I said, this is illegal. He goes, that's what I ran this weekend. I said, yep, I know that. He said, what are you going to do about it? I said, it's illegal. I said, I'm not teching cars today. I didn't tech anything. I said, but here it is. If one of those guys would have protested you, you've been done. No different than Jeff Thomas's school of how to tech something. Let the racers tech it. Don't get it twisted. You'll get tech some days. There's be days where you get tech. It might be after. It might be a protest after. It might be during. It might be battery check only. It might be anything. But what I'm saying is, before the race, I said 844. Make sure you're at 844, guys. I might check you. If I do, make sure your battery's at 844. We didn't check. But I don't. So this man comes up to me, hands me the car, says, this is what he ran. I said, it's illegal. He goes, I'm saying this from the track owner. He goes, I'm talking to the track owner. What do you do about it? I said, you want my honest opinion? Well, that's why I give you the car. I said, okay, here it is. You just disrespected the track and any track that you run that car in because does not fit the class you put it in. That is disrespecting the track because that is a blatant, no gray area. You ran a carbon car in a stock chassis class, purpose-built car in a stock chassis class. The rules clearly state stock chassis. So now, if the guy comes back, I don't know who will. He's welcome back. He's welcome back. I'm not saying he can't come here. I don't give a shit. But that car with that chassis won't run in that class again. No, he did not win. Nope. Bumped out of the B and lost. Guys, this conversation happened 3 years ago, made a lot of people mad about it. What I considered a blatant cheat on a gentleman's rule. I didn't call anybody out that day by name until the comments came in that alluded to the person anyway. I'm not calling names. I don't give a shit. I'm just telling everybody, don't cheat. You come here with a blatant cheat. There it is. Don't do it again. Don't come back. If you come back with that car, you will not race. Won't race. Sorry. If you put that body on a different car, I'm checking your shit. I'm checking it anyway. You might be the only one I check that day. And if you don't like it, we say it every time. Everybody that comes here knew. If you don't like it, the road that you drove in on, if you get in the other lane, it takes you back to the house. Don't cheat. We don't have any problem. Great night of racing. And then the guy throws in your face that he cheated all night and got away with it? Dumbass. You won't next time, and you didn't get away with it. The guys that raced in your class didn't care. The guy you beat out in the B main, I talked to him, didn't care. He's like, oh well. And then you broke in the A. If you would have won the deal, you probably would have got protested. Wouldn't have won it anyway. Okay? So that's the way that works. I'm not sitting here for 15 hours checking people's cars all day long for every little nuance. You just don't have the staff for it. He did. I know Van I says Scuba says I cheat. LOL. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you don't. It is what it is, Jason. You'll be all right. So it's good, guys. That kind of stuff doesn't need to happen. If you get a guy in that is new into it and gets beat by a cheater, he's discouraged, or he's going to drag you out in the middle of the street. That might happen too. I don't know. It is Kempton. Monster said I finally got all my black cans back. Black cans and ice red. That's going to change too, but I know where you're going with that. Spec class racing, guys. Speaking of that, Munsterman, hey, you need to be out here at Fall Brawl. The 27th of September, isn't it? Fall Brawl, I need you and every many you got. Here's what we're doing. Mod guys. I know there's some of you on here in the background listening. Mod guys. You run 2 classes, right? You run Mod Sprint, Mod Late. Fall Brawl, you're in a mini mod. I'm going to get as many mods as we can, and we're going to put mod guys in mini mods. Brian, why you bring all of that? Brian says, I've seen car keys start a brawl. Man, it was about that night. We about had that was a rough deal. Yeah. Yeah, Brian's been around a while, and usually, for some reason, interesting stuff happens when Brian Munsterman's in the house. Brian says, hell yeah, let's send them. Guys, and here's what I'm saying to that, guys. Those of you that have minis, we are wanting a mini mod. Okay, let me get prices together because I haven't bought them this year. So, Jack, I'll let you know, and I'll get your price, and then we'll go from there. Okay? Nick says, sounds good. Nick's ran one, too. Ryan's ran one. Brian says, oh, Jason, you definitely cheat. Ain't no way your cars ain't on steroids. Tommy says, I rock race with the minis. So here's what's going on, guys. If you have a mini mod and you either don't race it or you do race it, but if you're willing to let a guy run one, if you don't think the mod guys can handle a mini, you better check your shorts. They're fast, they're fun. I was talking to a guy the other night, and he said they're like an 8 scale. I didn't run 8 scale, but everybody, and that's about the third person that said that to me. So I assume they are, with everybody saying that. So let's go. I think it'd be badass. I'm gonna get every one of mine ready, and go. They can make any adjustment on mine they want, but just have fun. I'm not saying the mod guys don't have fun, because I think that crew that came out had a hell of a time. But just think of a car that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about a tire. You don't have to worry about anything. You charge the battery, you throw it on the track, and let it rip. Brian says, I love mini mods. They're durable and rowdy. 100% they are. They are cool as a fan. Scuba said it last week. They are what built this track. We ran them all the time. Drake says, I'm on my way home from Attitude right now. Had 10 times more fun than spec racing the last few weeks. Also, those mini mods are a blast. They are, dude. And Alex, that's Shoes. Anybody don't know Alex's Shoes? He says, I'll let mine out if I can't make it. Okay, yeah. Riker says, will Kempton Bucks be wagered on those mini races? That's the next race we're wagering, not the last race of the year. The last race of the year, we're paying cash out. Cash out. I got to get the Shriner race is the one we're wagering on. Be Kempton Bucks or coins or something. I don't know yet. I've got almost everything done except for the denomination. So yeah, that's what I want to do. So mini mod owners, if you have one and don't, I mean, I think I got 6 of them or something like that. So we can have one heat with my stuff, I think. But mini mod owners, if you'd like to lend those out or lend one out to somebody, feel free to get a hold of me or your mod guy that you know that's going to be out here for the September race. I think that'd be fun. Just put them out there and let them see what they do. That'd be cool. I'd like that class to come back around. I put a coupe chassis or a sedan chassis on one just to see. It's really hard to drive, but definitely something I'd really be interested in keeping the mod. Hey, what are you doing? Drinking my soda? I'd be really happy to keep them mods because they work really well. But with that being said, I think we are going to do some alterations to that rules package because it's so small of a group now. I think we are going to do an alteration to the rules package next year to try to alleviate some of the BS. So, just so you know. Howard says, I think you should do it as a dash for a starting spot in the A instead of drawing. I mean, maybe that's where we are. Maybe we run the minis. Wherever you end up in the minis is where you start. Is that what you think? We'll talk about that, Jake. I'm game. I don't give a shit. Like Chuck E. Cheese, wager on the horses, watch mini mod races every week. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'll tell you. Guys, I like the fun side of it. Those who are out there, what do you guys think of the chip draw? I know it's chip draw is a chip draw, but and it didn't affect a whole lot, I don't think. I think the fast guys still went to the front, but you had to work a little bit more. Are you guys cool with that? I'm going to do it no matter what. I just like the input. It doesn't take that much longer. How many times do you see a RC guy do a 100-yard dash? Well, bro, I'm in the back. I ain't running. Not running. These kids, Ben I says the chip draw is fun. It is fun. It gives you a little bit more excitement. Ryan says I'd be in the X main with a 100-yard dash. Me too, Ryan. I'd be right there with you. I'm not running. Munchman says I'm too fluffy. I would, Darren Fisher said, bring back SC Mod. Oh, well, everybody is scared to run them, and they're awesome. Well, bring them out. Bring them out. If there is, I have rules for SC Mod. I just need them. I just need the cars. There is not a localized class that I won't run. I mean, honestly, SC Mod, 100%. They're going to be very interesting on this track. You've been here now, Darren. You stopped by. I'm glad you did. Tommy says, I'm game. I will bring my running shoes. Yeah, Tommy, of course you will. Speaking of Tommy made this for us. Thank you, Tommy. That shit's badass. Hand painted. That's cool. Thank you, Tommy. Van Ice says, we had a full field of B-mods and you weren't here, Darren. No shit. I mean, B-mods were hot. We had 7? I think 7 B-mods. Let me look real quick. I can tell you. Something like that. If I can see around my phone. 13.5 ST modified. 8 of them. 8 of them. And I think everybody had a pretty good time with them. Darren says he didn't have a B mod. He's got an ST mod, not a B. Says that's awesome. Brian says, Tommy, that ain't happening. You're in too good a shape. Only person at the track that could run a marathon with a car. Yeah, 100%. None of that. Jason just called it out. He said, well, we had 7 B mods and 1 A mod. That might be true. I guess, Darren, you would have had somewhere to run. We could have put you in that deal. Andrew Baker said, I had a hell of a good time and definitely will be back. Andrew, that's what we like to hear, buddy. We do things a little bit different here. with the food, which you guys ate us out of house and home, which is great. We ended up ordering pizza. We got a guy a pork burger from down the road because at the fire department because that's what we had, and then we ended up ordering a little bit of pizza later. Some of the guys that didn't eat, but we'll fix that for the next one. We didn't expect 100. Tommy says, Jason, and where did it finish? Probably 6. I didn't look. I think it was out there. Darren says, at least if I'm going to cheat, I'll let you know. You know ahead of time. LOL. P.S. I don't cheat. Yeah. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, I'll run anything. So don't. When this track started, and I think Monsterman was probably here one of those nights. I know Scuba was here, and Butch. Who else would have been early? Man, we had everything you think. Jason says broke. It must have been a 4. Dude, I hope it was. I get paid to fix it. JJ says nice turnout. Agreed, JJ. 3 make a class. Weasel says that's right. All we need is 3 of them. Let's rip. Guys, you think actually it's 4 here, but you think about that. If we had 3 SC mods, I'd run them. Here's the other thing. Not this race, the last race. Matt was out. Who else was it? Matt, Kevin, Tom, and Tommy? Is that who it all was? That ran late model last time? The first time we ever ran mod cars for the Big Tire Bonanza. So that wasn't planned, guys. They just had the cars with them, and they said, hey, if we get one more, can we race? Hell yeah, let's rip. I don't care. You might not get a trophy, but you'll be able to put that car on there and have a good time. Because I didn't know you were here. Munchman says, speaking to the Ford, I've got an ST Explorer to ask you a couple of questions on. I've got one of those too. Yes, I do. And they will get you a ticket. Just so you know. The STs are fast. But yeah. Ford makes a class. Guys, thinking of track owners, tracks, cars, classes. Guys, we used to take mini mods to PTs. Brad ran them every weekend at BB Mods. We would we were there every weekend during his Friday Night Lights. We would go down there every weekend, guys, and run 5 to 7 of those cars a night. We ran them in the Hell Tour one year. Getting back to having all these tracks, that's why we go to support all these tracks. We were just taking the minis out, just trying to get that number higher where guys would see them, enjoy them, willing to spend the $350 or $400 to get them going, because if they're at the track, they already have a controller probably. They already have a charger. Last year, guaranteed I can tell you this, $320 would get you a mini mod with a body, everything ready to rip. $320. I mean, you can't buy anything for that. This year I don't know, because I don't know with tariffs and increase in pricing and blah 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 blah. I don't know what it's going to be. But the reality of it is it's available. Tommy says, I ran my V-Mod with A-Mod and was able to keep up with them. I agree with that. I agree. I didn't look at numbers, but I think the crate late models were pretty close to the 5-second mark, wasn't they, last night? Let me look real quick. So I think there's times, guys, where everybody thinks, I mean, I'd let a B-Mod run with an A if that's what they want to do, just because that's, it's a down. But if a guy's willing to stick it out there, crate late model A main. Yeah, fast lap was a 5.1, and we know the other guys were in the 4.9 at least. Mushroom's got a good question. Watching some of the live feeds, it seems like numbers are a little down at some other tracks. Wonder why that is. I mean, there's the question, guys. What do you guys think? Why are numbers down? I don't know. Let me think here, guys. I don't know that the numbers are down as far as people might think. I think the numbers are spread out more. Maybe that's where we're at. I mean, I've got guys that raced last year multiple times with us last year that haven't been out at all. Not once this year. Ryan says a lot of early season rainouts has led to many scheduling on top of each other later in the summer. I would agree. And still raining, right? Jake said there's 8 tracks and only 100 guys. We can't all be at the same place every week. Agreed, Jake, with that too. I really don't think you should be. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Let me grab Brian's other comment. We'll get back to you, Jake. Or are some other classes starting to die? Brian, yes, some of the classes I think are starting to die. Some of the ones that were popular back in the day, guys are wanting something different to drive or better to drive. And I want to talk about it with the SC Mod because we talked about that earlier, right? I think the SC Mod is a blast to drive, but they're big old tubs, right? Just like every other short course vehicle. And I think a lot of guys are finding that the buggy based stuff makes it is so much smoother, easier, not as big and bulky, and that's where they go. I can't say right or wrong. I love both of them. I can't say that there's a wrong. I love the B mod. I think they're cool looking. I think they're big. They're bulky. They're fun to drive. You got to drive them a little differently. I think just sitting back watching them, I like them all. And it's not a money thing, guys. You guys know me. I mean, I like to make some money too, but it's not about the money. It's about having a class that everybody can enjoy. Um, but yes, I think like you're talking ST mod, but you look at buggy street stock, huge. You look at the mod classes, they're going to stay there because that's the end. The other thing that's killing it a little bit, Brian, in my opinion, is you can't get anybody new in it. How do you get a new guy in it? How do you do it? We had two in the next gen last night. One's Gavin, who raced here quite a bit, and then Zachary was the other one that has a slash to come in. How do you get new guys in it? Everybody that's on this live feed right now, there's 20 of you. One of my last ones got 1.2K, which is the most I've ever had. Thank you guys for listening. 1.2K views on one of my other live feeds. This one hopefully gets there too. What do you do to get a new guy in here? No bullshit. What do you get in here? How do you get a new guy started? That's all I want to know. What are we going to do as a hobby? You don't rely on a track owner. You own a car. You race. You obviously enjoy the hobby. You want to say whatever you want to say, and I'm not bashing anybody. You want to say whatever you want to say about the hobby, how great it is. It's so much fun. We have so many guys that get along. We have great respect. We teach each other things. We teach people how to have respect. How do you get guys in it? Brian Juga says, look for local hobby shop support. I agree. Brian says they have to want to do it, and they need their first experience at the track to be a good one. Agreed. How do we do that? How do we do that? How do you band together and make that happen? Who knows a school teacher? I done it. School thing worked. Brian says this right here. You talking about the comment from Juka, I assume? Jack says the kid out with the help the kid out, help the person out, learn how to do stuff. Agreed. I mean, Peyton said rental cars are always a good option. Agreed. 100%. Intermediate class, make the intermediate classes great again. Drake, I agree too. I mean, there's so much, but how do you get that kid in the track? That's what I want to know. I'm telling you guys, I'm all in to figure out how to do it, or it's gonna die. Let's get back up here to Jake's before we get out of here. Jake says there's 8 tracks and only 100 guys. We can't all be at the same place every week. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And here's what: I don't think you should be. And the reason I say that is because I feel like you guys should be there together at a track. Maybe a different one a lot. Maybe a different one a lot of times. My wife said, "Don't be an asshole." Really? I can't believe that. She's been with me for a long time. Wisconsin does way better at focusing on intermediate classes. Central on the guys don't fit on all mod cars. Drake, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. But when does an intermediate class become a professional class with an intermediate car? Tommy says, bring your kids and grandkids to the track with you. I agree 100% there too. Brian says, yes, sir. He hit the nail on the head with that comment. That's a mindset. It's a win-win for everybody. The hobby shop, the track, and the hobby as a whole. Okay. I got you, Ben. So, yes. And honestly, Brian is in the position, those of you who don't know Brian's in the position where the hobby shop makes a lot of sense for him too because of his profession. I'm just gonna put out the leisure hour representative at a lot of tracks is Brian, and and they helped us out a ton this week. We gave away $100 worth of gift cards for them, and they've helped us with the class, brought people in, did that kind of stuff. So that's great. But if you go to any other hobby shop in the area, you're not going to get that because them hobby shops aren't doing it. Right? They're bashing so hard. Let's see. My wife Christina said, "Don't be an asshole." She said, "No, not you." She knows. See, she says, "Just people in general." So when you're at the track, don't be an asshole to the kid walking around wanting to know what's going on or whatever. That's I think that's where she's at, and I agree. What else we got in here? Mike says, "Get them out, get them to come back is the hard part. When a new guy shows up, introduce them to a regular, then have that guy mentor them a few races, and can't just say help them. Can't just say help them. They don't know what to ask for." That's right. Maybe that's something you start. Do we start a mentoring program of some sort? I don't know. Alex says scuba's been a great help to me. I just wish situations were different. I have a kid that wants to do it. I agree, Alex, and everybody's situation is different, right? Brian says I'm guilty of something. No way. They're talking about assholes coming. Man, maybe I am sometimes. It happens. Ryan says not many commercial hobby shops go to oval races or have drivers at our track. A few, but not many. And my wife says Scuba and Gavin, because Scuba said just give a kid a car, build a car, have an extra one. That's exactly what Scuba did for Gavin. Those of you who were out here last night in the next gen, Scuba built a Slash for a kid, gave it to him, and said, "Here, have it, enjoy it." Scuba does the maintenance on it. Scuba does the battery charging. Gavin just gets in the races. Now, the question with that is at some point, well, Gavin might go away for 5 years and come back. Weasel was looking for crepes. Crepe. The crepe griddle is on order, Weasel. Oui, oui, oui. We go in French. All right. Let me get back up here and make sure I didn't miss anything. Guys, great comments. Keep them rolling. It's probably our biggest problem. And I talk to guys behind the scenes, and guys don't see it. There's a lot of guys doing things behind the scenes that nobody knows about to help kids, whether they're in the hobby already, get better usually, but trying to get people in. Mark Larson, since I've gotten back into the sport, I've had nothing but great people help me out. Mark, you're right, and it is great. There are great people. There are assholes too, but there are great people. Darren says, I think a veteran driver should do a better job at taking young drivers under the wing and be willing to help them out, because even as an adult only being in this for 2 years, I don't want to bother the guy that takes it so serious, even on a club race night. If they offer, it would be better. Agreed. I understand what you're saying, Darren, but how does that guy know you even need help? I mean, he can see it, but we talked about this last week. If a guy comes out once, Juga says, how about a pros and Joe's team competition at an event? I just seen that in off-road the other day. I thought that's pretty cool. It would be something to work for. The problem is that event would have to be really big, I think. You know what I mean? We'd have to build that up to make an impact, but definitely something that could happen if we could get enough pros and Joes together. But that would be cool. It would definitely be something as track owners and operators we could look at and even do something together to help make that happen. Darren, back to your comment. If a guy comes out once, and I'm not saying this is you by any means, I've seen Darren in a lot of tracks. And if you come out to a track once or twice and your car's junk, you're probably not going to get help. I think a lot of the guys that are really good, I mean, you might get some, but a guy's not going to grab your car and fix it for you the first time or second time you're out. It's not going to happen. I feel like a guy, you know why? Because that guy's busy as you are, and he is, and when he's not going to, I don't want to say waste, but basically waste his time that you're not going to be out again. Now, maybe because he didn't help you, you might not come out again either. I don't know that. I don't know. So, but I think if you're out there more times, the more you're out there, the more you're there, the more you're represented around. More people see you, talk to you, you talk to them, and light conversation. Just, man, your car looked good today, or man, I wish mine could run like that, or man, what did you do? You don't have to go up there and say, hey, fix my shit, turn my controller on, plug my battery in. That's not where we're at. Okay. Scuba said, I walked around yesterday and offered help to people. I could. Phone. I know, man. What I do, double it. So, yeah, yeah. And that's just it. I've seen Scuba around a lot. That's good. I mean, that's one of the Kempton guys. I'm sure all the mod guys were hitting you up. Thanks for doing that, Scuba. You made a good mod race in the end. Scuba's been at it not a long time. What did we figure out the other day, Scuba? 4 or 5 years? Has it been that? No, maybe it's longer than that. What was it, 8 years, something like that? Started off slash B-mod, that stuff, I think. So, I mean, that's just it. It's great to see a guy that knows the track 18. Yeah, so 7 years. But I'm telling you, slash three stock, he's getting a handle on some of the others, but they've ran those forever. And finally, like a lot of the Kempton guys, they're moving up, right? They're getting into the buggy base stuff. And Jeremy Morris, I don't know if he's on here or not, but that dude was fast last night somehow in the buggy. He was good. I think it was hooked up. Brian says pros and Joe's event. I called dibs on Van Ice as a partner. Maybe I'll learn some shit. Probably not. Probably not. Not because Van Ice can't teach you, but probably not, Brian. We'll just leave it there. But yeah, I don't know, guys. How do we get new in? We have all these tracks available. We have all that stuff done. We've talked about it forever as an intimidation factor. I think it's big, but I don't think that's a huge part of it. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's I don't know. I can't figure it out. That's why we thought the mini mod was good entry level class, but the problem with the mini mod, what's up, Butch? The problem with the mini mod is it's too fast. Matt says, ask Josh Alvey how I got him back into RC. Butch, I hope you're feeling better on your recovery. Josh Alvey, I'm calling your ass out. What happened? What did Rikers do to you? Josh used to run up a Moni, I believe, with his dad, if memory serves me correct. We'll get into that at some point too, the history and Moni, and dude, there's so much Moni that happened that helped the hobby, I think. One time. What guys, it's so weird how guys come out and get out. Josh says, I've been back racing for about 1.5 years now, and I've met great people at every track that I've been to. You just have to be willing to reach out and talk to people. 100%. Josh lives 15 minutes from here, maybe 20 at the most. He's been coming out for probably almost a year. I think he started coming out about the fall brawl, maybe a little bit before that last year. Mark Larson said, any form of racing, people look at the cost. I agree, Mark. I can't deny that. Maybe this is the wrong time. Brian says probably involved disco lights in the trailer. I don't even want to know, bro. I agree with that, Mark, a lot. Ryan says, we helped a guy last night with a crate light that came over and asked. Jake did some setup changes and told him to get ready for practice. I went up and made a couple simple collar adjustments while he was practicing. He came off the stand and said, thank you, and you guys made it better than I had it. That's what sport is about. Ryan, I agree 100%. But what takes that is the initial interaction. Next race will be different. Josh says, yep, that was me. Thanks, guy. Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah, Josh. Right there. How do I put this? Josh is cool. He'll understand. Joshua says, Matt has been helping me a lot, too, over the past 1.5 years. So here it is, guys. So Josh Alvey's on here. I'm going to call him out just a little bit. Josh's shit's fast. He's always got a good car. You'll see it, the 12A car out there. They all look the same. Buggy street stock, sprint, crate late. But Josh is a grown ass man. Josh has pride like everybody, but he's still asking for help, right? You're no lesser of a person if you ask for somebody to help you. It doesn't mean you're dumb. Doesn't mean you're probably dumb not asking, but just go ask them. I tell you, I mean it. Scuba says all it takes is to say thanks for helping, and I make a vet feel good also. Right, it will. It'll make a vet feel better. A guy that's been doing this thing for years and can pass a little knowledge. Now, do I think you're going to get every setup secret in the world and every setup and when it don't run really really well, you're going to get another setup for? No, you have to figure it out, learn something. Ryan, exactly. We are all over there in a group. We are asking each other the same questions daily. I know I can't. I don't. How do you fix it? Uh, you don't want to do a Q&A session the day of the race, right? You don't want to be the guy that's wrenching on everybody else's stuff. But here's the thing, guys, and I didn't sit. I stood at the drivers at the table at the booth all day yesterday. Jake says, shocked at how much we bounce ideas and talk setup during the week, LOL. We have no problem helping someone at the track that just comes over. I agree. And here's what I'm going to say. I stood at the end of my track, guys. If you guys have never been here, I stand at turns 1 and 2 a good part of the day. Watching the computer, watching the time, and as I'm standing there watching the race, the mod guys had pitted directly across behind the garage from me. And they were working on their stuff. But a lot of the times, guys, they're just chilling and doing their thing. Their car is pretty close. They know how they're going to drive it. They got an idea. Okay, doesn't matter. They have some time if you're willing to listen most of the time. Now, especially here, because honestly, guys, we're so laid back, in my opinion. I says I can't bash on the Traxxas guys when they actually come out to race. And Scuba says, Matt, it's got to start somewhere. Guys, Traxxas is huge here. I'm not gonna lie, we love that class. But I'm standing there watching during the race, and I look over, and it's Ryan and Jake and Justin, Kevin, the Lewises, JB, Jimmy. They're all just they're not hanging out. They're doing stuff. They're probably talking shop, but they're there. They're not wrenching. They're not thrashing. That's when you go ask. Butch says you don't want to be BB and show up with and show up with all your stuff broke, no batteries or chargers. That's a hard guy to help. That's a hard guy to help. If you don't have any battery, or you don't have a charger, or you don't have your stuff somewhat together, let's start there, right? Let's start there. But I mean, it was running 4 classes yesterday, 5 classes. Jeremy's running 6. Oh hell. Uh, but they're still there. We had some close races in the TRX modified. You did. It's a spec car. As long as people keep a spec. I like that class better with the little changes. I don't think I'll change anything else on it. The controller sucks. We think he's talking about the wheelman Sanders. I'm sure he wasn't here this week, but the TRX class is so close because of that. The Losi class that we have presented by Leisure Hour Hobbies is a little bit stretched, in my opinion, to be real close. I don't know I don't remember who won it, but I know Orange Crush was out there, man. That 57 car of his was, but you can do a lot of stuff, so that makes a difference too. But like I said, back to the Scuba and Jeremy, 2 guys that are sitting right up here, usually up close to the building. Man, you just gotta walk up. You just gotta have that conversation, you know. But you're not gonna do it in between rounds. You're gonna do it before, because in between rounds they're putting 6 cars on the track. That's the difference. So I don't know, guys. It's definitely it's definitely something to think about. How do we make that better? How do we get more out? I feel like it's more people are worried about that than ever. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I see it. I feel like more people are worried about, uh, or more people should be worried about getting people to the track than ever. What else you guys got? Um, Joe says, my first time there, I was impressed. Hang on. It's a Cardinal fan, thanks. Joe says, first time there, I was impressed. I raced a stock out of the box Velocity Sprint, learned a lot. Picked up almost 4/10 a second a lap. Joe, yes, good job. I remember you being over there. Man, it's laps. Guys don't understand. Just put laps in, it'll help so much. Matt says the TRX modified and the late models seem to be great entry points for new people to enjoy the hobby. Maybe all the tracks should agree on a spec upgrade radio so new guys don't have to the sticker shock of an $800 radio upgrade, and I agree 100%. Wintertime stuff, Matt, and I think we will. I think tracks are seeing that they need new guys in, and we need to do something to help promote that and get hobby shops involved. Here's what I'm going to say about the tracks deal. I don't care what hobby shop it is, the majority of them will be able to get you a Traxxas modified or a TRX modified TRX late model. I don't know about availability. I'm not on that side of it. It doesn't really matter. What I think is, I think they're readily available, right? And they're not a ton of money. And your hobby town, you can go get one. Hopefully, I don't know if they're in stock or not. Don't quote me on any of this. But you can go to your hobby town. You can go to your where'd you pick yours up? The other little hobby shops in the Joliet area, we'll say. Those hobby shops, you can still get Traxxas stuff right off the shelf. And it's not that expensive. You put a nice little radio with it, like a Fly Sky, something really easy like that with it, and you'll be okay. Waltz, yeah, good scuba. Yeah, Waltz had it. So something just went crash outside. I hope it's a cat and not a. Oh, these two are looking. So there you go. Anyway, Ryan says I think shows like yours help. The more public we talk about helping, maybe more will be willing to ask for help. I agree. Joe says, or bandit parts. Traxxas Joe, he's going to have bandit stuff, which is great. And he was somewhat competitive last night. I mean, he wasn't slow. Tommy says, Matt Rikers, I think this would be a great starting point and also a car that could be used as a base to get into a street stock or B mod. 100%. Mark Larson says Leisure has a bunch in inventory. That's great. And I'm not gonna. And believe me, Leisure's worked with me. I like Leisure. I go there quite a bit if I need something. And the reason why is because they have a good variety normally. Do they stock everything that you ever need? No. There's no hobby shop that's going to do that. This computer right here is the reason why it's so hard. We go on that. We go to the A mains. We go to the Horizons. We go to the Tower Hobbies. They have everything and they'll ship it to us. The problem with that is if you get a hobby shop out of it completely, you're in trouble. Hopefully a hobby shop can hire people that are somewhat knowledgeable to help you. And I'm not saying that's happening all the time either. Or you get the guy that's a boat guy. Go fast too. Right. Hobbies out of Indiana. Or you're wanting dirt oval stuff and you got the boat guy, and he don't really know what you're looking for. I understand that, and I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying that the hobby shops are a key component, and if you go to a hobby town, a lot of them are even worse. That's why I like Leisure. I do go to hobby town too. I was just there 2 weeks ago or whatever. Picked up a big block, but other than that, Matt says, go fast. He responds to the go fast coming. Exactly. There are some mom and pop hobby shops out there. Agreed. And they're probably some of the best. And that's why, like I say, because they love the hobby. They're not in it for a paycheck. They're in it for the hobby. Munchman says they stock way more than the hobby towns do. And realize there are more to the hobbies than bashing RCs. Agreed. Joe said, I'm getting back into racing. Enjoy the fact that the spec class Losi. I just picked up a Traxxas mod, hoping not to spend a lot of money to race and be competitive. That's why spec classes are there. The problem you get into, Joe, is just like we talk about with every spec deal, is cheaters cheat. Racers cheat when they can. The gray area, whatever. Butch says, what if on a Freedom Friday night we pick up a class of people to come and help the new guys like we did with the mini? Hey, I agree. And if that can happen, if we can organize enough where new guys can, I'm going to put it out there right now. New guys, if you want to do that, contact me privately. If you want a night where we have guys come out to help you get stuff done, any new guy you know that needs help, let me know if you're willing to just come out on a practice day. That means, here's what practice day means. Practice day means the track is not going to have 10,000 laps on it like it had last night. Don't bitch because the track ain't perfect, because it's not going to be, because you don't have all those tires on it. 2, practice means you're not getting a trophy. Practice means you're going to come out here and you're going to work and you're going to get better at the craft that you're choosing to do. There's no glory. There's no bullshit. You are going out to try to get better at what you want to do. That's it. Okay? That is what practice is. If you don't want practice nights, or if you bitch because you don't get practice nights, and then you don't show up for practice night, that's part of the problem. Track owners make nothing on a practice night. I guarantee it. 3 guys show up on a practice night, you ain't making nothing. But if there's a group that want to do it, or if there's a group that want to help, and I'm sure we can get that, then okay, then we do something. But it has to be a group. Onesies, twosies, that's hard to handle as a track, and as a guy come out to help. I come out to help a guy, and it's something simple, 15 minutes, he's running and I'm running. You want to help more than that if you're a helper. Mushroom says, gray ain't cheating. 100%, I agree. But black and white is. Tommy says, get a group of my guys to come out and do a chassis 101 seminar. Guys, I'm 100% game for any seminar. I'm ignorant to it, guys. I don't race. I never race big cars. I don't understand a lot of the terminology. I learn as I go. And wintertime project for that on a non-race night in the winter at a hall somewhere would be A-okay with me. Weasel says, when leisure hours, hopefully, when leisure hours had their off-road track, they used to have a beginner's day race. Only bigger than this could race, and then went over everything about the race day, including pit setup and what you needed to have for the racing and actually racing. That's how I got started. So, yeah, I mean, that might be it too, you know? Get a group of my guys together. The reply about getting a group of my guys together for a one-on-one class. He says, not much to go over. Matt says, not much to go over. Just have to learn on the fly and ask fast guys questions. I don't believe that, Matt. I don't know. I don't think as a mod guy, helping out a guy, just understanding how it is, right? Matt says, sounds like he's volunteering for the first seminar. I mean, Tommy's stupid. Guys, I think, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but I am kind. Jeff Johnson, Nacho will tell you this. We need that. When I came into this deal, I'm and still am, I'm pretty ignorant to it. I think a lot of guys look at it in 2 different ways. They look at it as either, this is just a toy car that I want to race and have fun and be competitive. The other side of it is the guy, like a lot of them are. They race the big car. They know how to set up a big car. They understand the difference in a big car, and they want to race competitively, and they're smart with it, and they understand it. I think you have two of them. The other one is the very, very veterans, the guys that have been fast, the guys that understand it, the guys that picked it up fast, and have only done RC or mainly RC, but know it and roll with it. Butch says, I think we have, if you teach, I'll go back up here. If you teach them the basics, the rest they learn on the fly. Agreed. Matt says the RC hobby is full of introverted people, and stands in front of a group of people is not their thing. Standing in front of people, hey, and not everybody is, but I guarantee you, there's people that are there. Guarantee it. I don't know if you're talking about yourself. I'm not asking that question. I'm just saying that there are people out there in this hobby that will stand in front of somebody and give them the basics. Or I don't give a shit. We'll do a video on it and not even show who you are. I don't care. Just work on your car and show a video and explain it. Scuba said, I asked Jay questions through Messenger and he helped me not even looking at the car. Yeah, agreed. Not dumb. These guys are, a lot of them are really good. Michael said, Murph Dog has a great setup sheet on his page, Setup 101. It's a great guide. It's a great guide, but a lot of people don't understand it, Michael's the only thing I can say there. Tommy, in reply to get a group of mod guys to come out and do Chassis 101, he said there's still a lot to learn about setups and what changes the effect of handling. Big car chassis builders do them, and it's very successful. Even modern, veteran drivers attend these. Agree. There's always something new to learn. There is. Ryan says the gap between starters and mod is huge. A lot of us are probably better, probably better help with the 13.5 classes if you can make a science project out of anything. Yeah, you can make a science project out of anything. You just have to figure it out and work through it so the guys understand it. Brian says he still goes back to the Murph Dog setup, which I agree. And he says if you think you know it all already, you ain't learning shit. And you're right, Brian. Guys, I go to tracks all the time. You think I'm going to a track in Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Kentucky because I know everything? I don't know shit. It proved it last weekend. I didn't know how to do the timing system to get the laps back. If you know everything and don't have to learn anything from anybody, you're never going to get better. You'll never, probably to a fault, you will never get me to say I have the best track in the area. I didn't see Riptide come in. Speak up, Riptide. What's up? I ain't talked to you in a long time. Bygones be bygones. Tommy says, Paisley, I carry the guide along with my setup sheet every race I race in. Every time I race. I mean, that's cool. That's what it's about. I think it's terminology gets people though. Scuba said, no, because his gas is cheap. That's why I drive all over the country for this shit. Right. I did get cheap gas. What's up, Angel? So yeah, that's just it. We got that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to get better. And if a guy can help another guy get better, I feel like this happens. And I'm gonna call Butch out because me and Butch have done a lot of hangout. We've been around each other a lot. Butch has taught a lot of people a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna talk about Butch a little bit here. Butch will help anybody also. You don't have to do what Butch says. Never do you have to. But Butch can give you information that might help you in the long run. Just a general idea, right? But like Ryan said earlier, the 13.5 guys, Butch might not be able to help with a mod guy, and I'm just saying that not as a disrespect to him. Butch doesn't run that like a lot of us. As we get older in age, we can't react as fast. Our eyes aren't as good. We're just not as good. So we start dropping back down, and everybody says you're puppy kicking. That is not the thing. We're not puppy kicking. You just can't react as well. You're not as good as you once was. You just have to continue it on. And then you start learning more, and you help that. Then that kid that you helped in the 13.5 buggy is now running mod 2 years later and damn good at it. And I think Butch can do. I think that's Butch's deal. I think he really enjoys helping people. Like him, love him, hate him, kiss his ass. I don't. Whatever you want to say. I don't care. I'm just saying that a guy like Butch. I don't want to call Ryan out either, but Ryan's there. You know, he was super fast this weekend, but he'll help you too. I'm not saying he's old and can't see, but anyway. Um, Ryan says it's harder than most guys will hard as most guys will admit. We can make a car super fast after the race this weekend and be absolutely junk the next week. Weather, sunny or cloudy, track prep are all factors is huge, at least in mod. We are always scratching our heads at some point during the day. Yeah, different track, different style, different whatever. You know what I mean? Different surface. Everybody drives a little different, but there is a good baseline that can be found that everyone can start with, and then tailor. Right. So here's what I got with that, Brian. There is a baseline, but a lot of guys don't know how to get to that baseline, right? So if you get to that baseline, then you have to understand how you got there, and you have to understand what changes make a difference. Riptide says Butch is great. Is a wonderful guy. He is a great guy. 100%. Tommy says not as good as I once was. I got a few years on me now. Aren't we all, Tommy? Guys, I put out the next gen group last year that was the school kids. I put a picture out of them, and I said, guys, these are the people you need to help support because we're all getting older. Our eyes can't see as well. We can't handle our shaking ass hands. Can't get the little screws back in the spot. That's where you're at. Brian says, oh, I can't see the backstretch without my glasses. Damn bifocals. Hey, I got them on right now. Not bifocals. I'm not that old, but like you. But anyway, that's how it is. You have to get somebody to build them up. When we built the kids classes last year, 2 years ago, and we did it for 2 years, school dropped it. We built slashes because they were cheap and easy. We get parts really cheap. I think the guys in Michigan that were running mini mods for a while, late models, their name, indoor deal. He did one. The problem is you can't get 6 kids to commit. How do you get 6 kids and their parents to commit to build a car to go race on the weekend? How do you do it? This is a good Sprite, just for the record. How do you do that? If you get any cheaper than what we have now, two sides to this. A build car, whether it be a slash or a buggy, in my opinion, is the best thing to do. I got you, Scuba. Joe says, bottom line, we should be out there racing for fun. It's our hobby. 100%. I hope everybody had fun this weekend, and we'll have fun next weekend in another track or Friday night here. But I really hope everybody realizes it's a lot of fun. But how do you get? I feel a build car is best, whether it's a build slash or a build buggy. And the reason I say that is because if you have that, you learn how the car is put together. You learn what's going on. If you buy a box stock class car that's put together, not bashing anybody. I know you just bought a couple of them, Joe. I'm not saying anything bad about you. I'm just saying that you understand more when you put one together as a kit. Now, do I wish they would come out with a kit that is specifically for dirt oval? Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. There's not enough market. Brian says that's the big reason the majority of my boys and my cars are tracks. For 4 of us running SD cars and parts were cheap. Well supported versus changing platforms every 2 to 4 years and not supporting the older models any longer. I agree. Everybody says the slash is completely played out. The reality of it is, who cares? I don't give a shit. As long as it works. And guys continue to use them. And guys continue to build them. And guys continue to race them. And guys continue to have fun. Who cares? Traxxas Joe, I'm just going to change your name, bro, to that. It's Bandit. He says Bandit. And Bandit is not bad either. Is it the top of the line? No, I would never say that. The Max Slash is awesome. Traxxas stuff is not premium equipment. But as we said before on here, you need premium equipment to get started. Ryan's on here. I don't know who else is still on here. Ryan, Nick, anybody's on here. Mod guy. I am 16 years old. I just got my first job. I'm working at Cat, making good money. I just bought me a new truck. I used to dirt race with my dad, and I want to get into dirt oval RC. Brian says Traxxas is definitely not the top of the line, but they make very competitive. Yes, and there could be classes for it. So I'm the 16-year-old kid, just got a great job at Cat, making more money than I know what to do with. Still living with mom and dad, and I see Kempton Speedway's open, and I'm sorry. So I'm 18 years old. Scuba, thanks, buddy. Scuba says you got to be 18 to wear a Cat. All right, so now I'm 18. I still live at home with mom and dad. I don't have any bills. I got a new truck. I used to dirt over race. I quit doing that because it takes too much of my time, and I want to be RC dirt oval. Kempton Speedway's racing. We're doing it. Ryan, Nick, JB, anybody still on here? Mod guys. Do you want that guy building a GFRB car and coming out there and racing with you guys mod first weekend? Is that where he needs to start? 4-9? Brian says it's his story. Let him tell it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But didn't you hear Christina earlier? Didn't you hear Christina say, don't be an asshole? Or read it. You didn't hear it because she wasn't on here. Paisley says no. Traxxas mod. Ryan says go to the track first and see what class is thriving, and only proceed if you're going to be humble and willing to learn. Matt says depends on how much experience. He has no experience. First car, 18, never touched a car. He's coming out. He's buying nothing but mod. He's going mod racing. Faster is better. That's all I want to do. That's his entry level. How many of you guys want to put your $1,500, $2,000 car out there with that guy? I don't want to drive on the streets in my Explorer with some of the people driving out there in a big car that they've been around their whole life. Let alone a $1,500 toy car, $2,000 toy car that they don't give a shit if they break or not. Depends on his expectations. That's what Ryan says. But with that being said, do you think that it would probably be better for him to either go to a crate late model instead of mod, straight out, crate late model or buggy street stock to start that process? Justin said, well, I started right off into the mod. It's been a long road to get there to where I am at now. I wish I would have started in 13.5 and get some experience. Justin, congratulations because you're badass with what you do right now. But and I didn't get to see you early on that much, but I agree with your comment. You should have started lower. That's my opinion, guys. I think there's enough of that stuff, right, that you can do that now. Ryan says every time I put any vehicle on any racing platform, it's a risk you take. It is a risk you take, but you don't have to be that way. I mean, and you're going to get guys. I'm not saying this is the gospel and everybody's going to do it. What I'm saying is I feel like the path of progression should be start off a little bit slower, and then work your way into it. So you can make your adjustments on your crate late model, which I think is a great class. I'm so glad we got into a 13.5 late model or a 10.5 for here. But I'm so glad that class came around. I think it really split it and helped guys progress another step before you jump in with guys running 4.9s in my track. You think a 4.9 to a 5, we're not going to say 5.1 because that was the fastest. We're going to say 4.9 to a 5.3 or 5.4. That's a big difference. Ryan said, want my honest advice? Hell yeah. Pay off the dump truck first that you're wasting interest money on. Save up for a down payment on a house. Get ahead in life. And racing should come third. Hey, you're right, Ryan. But kids are dumb. They're going to waste their money on this shit because they want to go have fun. Everybody else does too. Butch says, ask Cheetah what I told him about buggy street stock. I don't think he's on here, but agreed. I mean, I think there's just a progression that needs to happen. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying if you don't do it, you're a dumbass. I'm just saying that you probably need to figure it out some way, and then go from there. So, because it's just, I think it's best. I think it's what you should do. I think Ryan said, I'm overly guilty of what I said. Well, I mean, Ryan said, hell, I tried my hand to the outlaw sprint. I spent more time in the infield just to stay out of the guys that were way better than me. Right, but Brian, if you would have, I don't know how you progressed, and I because when I started, you wasn't racing as much in the last couple of years due to whatever reason. But the thought is, if you would have been in 13.5 a little longer, or you would have been in a lower class a little longer, and the rules package would have been just kind of a motor deal, uh, not a different tire completely, and I'm talking about the DEs. Everybody seems to love them because they have all the grip in the world. But if you would have had almost the same car, would that have helped you get into mod better? Would that have continued to get you better enough where you're at the top of mod, and what else do you have but to move on, right? Yeah. So he said he just went straight to outlaw. Yeah. So if you would have stepped down to 13.5 sprint and enjoyed that a little bit more, you probably would have enjoyed the racing better and been more competitive and learned your way up to the mod. No different than Slash. Guys, I think right now, in the past, Slash Street Stock was your beginner, and then you moved up from there. Now, I feel like we're probably going to be a TRX. We are going to be a low C of some sort, whatever they end up coming out with, because they're going to come out with some shit, because they're not going to let Traxxas have the only modified out there. So, Traxxas or low C, and then you jump into the Slash Street Stock or into a B mod and then into an SC mod or A mod, or, you know what I mean? Or then you jump off of that and you go into the buggy based stuff. I just think there's a better progression that guys don't spend thousands of dollars and end up being mad at themselves. I spent all this money, I wreck my shit every week, and I'm not competitive. This program, in my opinion, most programs out there, it's not a participation trophy deal as far as a physical participation trophy. So, got a message from Aaron. Hang on just a second, guys. So now I think there's going to be a better progression to everything. You know what I mean? Like, just keep doing it, keep figuring it out. You don't get a participation trophy. What you get is camaraderie, understanding, friendship. But so many people in this I don't want to say this hobby because it's in this time. That's not what they want. I know for a fact that there was guys last night that wouldn't have been here if we wouldn't have had a trophy. Matt says my classes take a lot of work, and the average person doesn't want to work that hard on the cars that much. 100%, Matt. I agree. 100. I agree that there's a lot of guys out there that want to come out on a Saturday night or Saturday to race. They want to get to the track 3 hours early, and they want to fix their cars that they broke the week before. That's not where it's at in a mod. It's not where it's at on anything, honestly. If you want to be stupid fast, you got to work on it during the week. Brian says, I was going to put a 13.5 in it, but that was towards the end, and we had brand new race batteries for all the cars except for the mini mods. They got to be able to make it out there. Then we got hurt. Then I got hurt. That's putting a damper on a lot of things. Work RC racing. Brian does some filming, which is badass for no prep filming. And yeah, man, you just got to get out one day. I know it's rough. We'll accommodate you as always, buddy, as much as we can. But getting back to it, like I said, we've got the friendship, the camaraderie, the people, the talking, the meal. Like, I didn't get much response out of the meal last night, which is what I expect. But guys, that's something that I feel is very, very, very important for us to supply for you guys, just to show our things. I know you guys pay to race. I know you pay everywhere to race, but that's why we do the meal here at Kempton Speedway, because we want you guys to understand we also enjoy you being here. We want you to come back. We appreciate you spending a whole day with us. And honestly, you can go to the bar and have a burger. Jason posted on his page earlier if you want to see his reviews. about the food at the bar, go to Jason Van Ice's page. He'll let you know about that. Paige said, friendships is why I continue to race. Racing is just a bonus. Man, you ain't kidding. That is where it's at. Friendships, man, I've said on here before, guys. There is not one person, I say one person maybe. Ryan Cox, I worked with him for about a year before I built the track. Maybe 2. Jason, you are stalling here. Beware the burger, Jason says. Oh no, it don't matter. I'm just gonna run it all. He'll cut what he don't like. Ryan says waiting for off the YouTube, but just roll with it, man. He'll cut it. Dave's good. Ryan says I was waiting until you said we were off the tube to bring that up. I appreciate the food and the dessert. Nothing negative to say about your entire program. Hey, thanks, man. That means a lot. And I got that. You guys are gonna fucking think this is stupid, but I got that from listening to Jesse Cole, the Savannah Bananas baseball team. He does the same thing for every fan. You get a meal ticket. So, so that's that's why I do it. And we run short, but guess what? I think everybody got food, and if you didn't, then you will next time. We didn't expect 100, guys. I'm 100% honest with you. Little backstory behind the scenes. This is how it works here. You guys know where we're at, or if you don't, look at a map and find a middle finger county called Ford County. Look all the way to the top, and you're gonna find a little town called Kempton. It's 200 people, and there's nothing in sight. There's no gas station. There's no Dollar General. There's no nothing. We have a bar in town that the burgers are questionable, according to Jason. 4 trips yesterday, 3 trips to Facebook scroll. That's all you can get out of his 3 pages he's done. That we sent our youngest back to Pontiac, which is 35 minutes. If you're rolling hard, you can get there in 35, 40 minutes to get there, to get more food to make, because we didn't think we was having enough. When people kept piling in. Guys, when we announced there's food left, if you didn't eat and you need something, let us know. We were ordering pizza. If guys didn't eat, if you come here and you don't get enough to eat as a meal, you let me know. The bar has pizza. They had pork burgers and steak sandwiches down the street. We got a couple of those. We'll go to Casey's and get pizza. We'll do something. Guaranteed. Okay? That is part of the experience that we want people to have here at Kempton Speedway. My wife and Hope Cox did all of that yesterday. I didn't have anything to do with it, except for talking about what we're going to do. The rest of it is all them. I worry about the track a lot, make sure it's right, and make sure guys are set up and ready to go. Everybody's got power. We're working that, doing that side. That's my side of it. I'll help her with food if that's what needs to be done. We all do it together. We're all family. And when you come here, you're family. The first time, you might be the redheaded stepchild. The more you stop by, you become the stepchild. And we keep doing it. Tommy says, Ryan, I really appreciate the food. It's not why I raced there. However, it is a great accommodation. Right, Tommy, I agree. I don't want it to be why people come here. I want the food to be a bonus. I want the food to be something that guys, hey man, we get food. I'm not saying I'm going there for a meal. I want the racing to be badass, and I want that to be just another little bit. You know what I mean? Just another little thing that maybe assuage you one day because you go here or there, and I mean, as a business side of it, you think of it that way too, right? But the reality of it is family for family, and we take care of each other. And whether you like it or not, the RC community is a big ass family. Personally, my family is great. I've got a brother that come and helped Fall Brawl last year. My dad's passed, and my mother's still alive. We'll help each other anytime we can. We stay out of everybody else's business. That's how I kind of run everything as much as I can. But I might have a cousin that's family that I don't care for, right? No different than the RC community. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I love every one of y'all like you're my brother. I'm saying you're all a family. We take care of each other. Anyone that has cookies at 6 and then cheesecakes at 9 will be on my Christmas card list from now on. LOL. Hey, you know what, Ryan? That's my wife. 100%. 100%. She I promise you there will be sweet, guaranteed. So make sure you stop in. You know, RC shop. There's always stuff here, and it's always a great time, man. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that everybody got to come out and enjoy it. It was a great turnout. We had a great time. We're gonna have to continue to build that deal. You know what I mean? It's not gonna go away. It's not. You know, we're gonna continue to do the same thing we've always done. Just continue to work. So, guys, we've been on about 2 hours. I'm gonna lift off the gas here. Thanks for everybody jumping on. If you guys have anything, 218 comments tonight. That's great. I love all the comments. I love all the discussion. We'll have more. We're going to get a little more deeper next week, a little more technical. I think we're going to try to see how that works. Thank you for a great weekend. I'll see you guys. I don't know where I'm going next weekend. I want to go to Layton, but it's a 5-hour drive. So I don't know. We'll see what the wife wants to do. I want to go to Layton to the Elite Series. I've heard Layton's a good track. I'd like to go see their track. So that might be where we're at. No problem, guys. Thank you all for being here. We're going to jump off of here, guys. If you guys need anything, message me, contact me, call me. I'll help you guys any way we can. Anybody come up with ideas to get people in it, let me know. That's just how it works. I got to thanks you guys real quick. Kim the Crew, of course. Y'all know who you are. The pub out of Morris, they helped us out. A little bit of money here and there, so they're one of our sponsors. Do a great job. Good food there if you're in Morris. Double G Construction up in the Mantino area. He helps out with a lot of equipment this year. Prince Racing is involved in that also. You guys might know him as Purple or Anthony. He was missing this weekend, but we're hoping he'll be back. I'm sure he will be. He's out there helping us to build equipment, make equipment, get track equipment ready. So I got to thank him. BBQ, you guys might have seen him. He come up on a golf cart and deliver support burgers this weekend. BBQ helped me build this deal, so we got to thank him. JW Morris Construction, Remodeling, that's Jeremy. You guys seen him win some races this weekend. He's a huge part of this program, no matter how you look at it. Three Joyce Photography, that's Jeremy's wife, Carly. She does a great job of photography. We didn't have her out here this weekend. I'm going to try to get her back for the fall brawl. We'll see how that works. Last race, big race of the season, I think it's going to be a banger. So make sure everybody gets out for that. And I'll try to get her out here to get some pictures, and we'll see how that goes. But those are my sponsors for the track, guys. Support your local track. Support your local hobby shop. Get as much in there as you can. So, guys, we can keep this going. Whether it's Leisure Hours, which is one of our helping sponsors and sponsors for us. Whether you go to the Hobby Town, whether you go to Nickels and Dimes over here in Watsika, wherever you end up to get your stuff, your hobby parts, your parts and pieces, whether it's Go Fast, whether it's A Main, I don't care where you go. Go to your local if you can, and if you can't, or they don't have it, or God forbid you don't like them, and you want to go to A Main or wherever and order your stuff straight from GFRP, I don't care. Just support the hobby as much as you can, guys, and keep things going. All right? I'm going to get off of here, guys. We've been 2 hours. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you for listening to another great podcast on the RCU radio channel. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends to join the channel for more RC content. RCU Radio. We cover it all.